All right. Looks like we're live. All right, good. I see the live stream going. Let me see if I can monitor it somehow. All right. There we go. And it does look like we're live. Hello, everybody. This is meteorologist Andrew Pinero from an unusual time. Let me close one thing. Okay, I'm back. Hello, Raymond. Thank you for joining. Raymond, you really call that a bust? They're 1 inch off the forecast. That's not a bust. That's very accurate. I would call a bust if there was no snow and they're calling for 6 to 10 inches. But if you say they're about 1 inch off, that's not a bust. That's a forecast. I'd say that's pretty good. Anyway, today is not Tuesday for games and storms. What happened is the computer that I usually use for the green screen for the background had some graphic issues, so that is out for repair right now. And also, I don't know if you noticed, I have new glasses. What do you guys think? Do you like the new glasses look? I kind of like the way I'm watching myself on the stream here. I think I like the way that looks. Yeah. The old glasses I still have. My prescription didn't change. It's just need a second pair was kind of important. So those were the old glasses, and these are the new ones. So this one has less of a frame. These have a bit more of a frame. Raymond, what do you think of the new glasses? Well, while I'm here, I'm just going to get some tweets out, some Facebook posts. Hey, Raymond, that HRRR model, it's interesting because sometimes it is very good, but sometimes it's wildly off. And at a weather conference I went to at my college, I've actually met the person in charge of the development of the HRRR. And he says I think there's some new stuff coming out this year, later this year. Don't quote me on that, but I think that's what he said. Gotta get some hashtags in there. Can't forget those hashtags. Alright, so we are out on Twitter. Let's go to Facebook. Nope, not letting me do that. Facebook is just frustrating. All these social media things are just frustrating. It's a necessary evil. And now the Facebook page is halfway sideways. Ay. And Raymond, with the 36 degrees, I have had a lot of questions, which I'm sure you're aware of the layers of the atmosphere. But for anybody new that's just watching the stream for the first time, or watching this at the archive, what happens with the sleet storm? It was sleeting below freezing, so you would think, why isn't it snowing if it's below freezing? It should be snow. Not exactly. So the way the layers of the atmosphere work is at the very top where the precipitation starts. No matter where you are, no matter what time of the year it is, it always starts as snow. It could be 90 degrees Fahrenheit in the middle of the summer. Your precipitation is starting as snow in the clouds. Then as it travels through the layers coming down, it starts warming up. And it turns to rain. That's the summer scenario. Now for the winter scenario, what you're seeing is it starts as snow, and if it's cold enough, it just stays snow the whole way. What was happening with sleet was it starts as snow, then there's this layer of warm air, so snow melts and turns to rain. Then it goes through another layer right at the surface, which is cold, and that rain refreezes. And when the rain refreezes, at that point, it's not snow, it's ice, which is sleet. Now, rain and freezing rain are two different things. Freezing rain is liquid rain as it's falling, but so cold at the surface, and the water, actual liquid of the raindrop is super cool, meaning that it's below 32 degrees, which water can exist below the freezing point in certain situations, which is what freezing rain is. And as soon as it hits something, it freezes on contact. That's freezing rain. Sleet is just ice pellets falling from the sky. And grapple is a different type of term. Grapple is, it looks like hail, very little round pellets, not these big ice chunks, round ice balls that you see with hail with thunderstorms. Grapple, it forms and when you look at the chunks of the atmosphere, it feels like it's the same thing. You start as snow, then there's a warm layer, it melts, then there's a cold layer, it refreezes, then it melts again, then it refreezes, then it melts again, then it refreezes. That is what creates grapple. In a thunderstorm, you have snow turning and melting, and then it turns back to just rain. But because of the strong updraft with a thunderstorm, that rain gets pushed back up into the cold air, and then that rain refreezes. Then it falls, and then it melts a little bit, partially. The outside of the ice melts, and then it gets pushed back up by the updraft, and it refreezes once it gets back to the upper layer, and then it falls again. And it's this cycle that's happening. That's how hail forms. So a similar idea between hail and grapple, where you have melting, freezing, melting, freezing. It's just it's formed in different ways. They forecasted quarter inch. Okay. They forecasted quarter inch of ice, and we got a glaze. But I would rather bust that way, by being under the ice forecast. That's not a bad thing. Ice is very dangerous. And, yes, Raymond, thank you. Everyone always mixes up grapple and hail. They look similar, except grapple's just smaller, round ice pellets, versus hail's a little bit bigger, or they can be the same size, but they're formed differently. Thank you, Raymond. Spread the word. Spread the word for everybody. Now, this is a special lunch stream, so I'm having some soup. Feel free. Feel free to have some lunch with me. Now, Raymond, I'm not sure about New York City, but Putnam County, one of my colleagues, one of my fellow meteorologists that works there, he got almost an inch of sleet. Just sleet was almost an inch. He probably got about 0.75 to zero point 0.8 inches of sleet on top of maybe 2 or 3 inches of snow. So that's where the ice was worse. It was a little bit north of New York City, so a little bit north of where I am, but a little bit south of where you are, Raymond. That's kind of right where that sweet spot was for the sleet. All right. So let's bring up some weather stuff. Let's take a look at some of the radar and the satellite we'll go through first. Let me just bring up some things. So I have radar. Let me get the satellite up. I like this cod, the GOES 16. I like that viewer. Ooh, this is an interesting angle. We will use that. How do I play? There's the play. And this is shortwave eye. So we're going to have that up. We're going to go through those first. Let me transition over. All right. So here, we'll start with the radar. There's still a little bit of energy out there. And as I'm sitting here looking out the window, which is behind the camera, I'm seeing a little bit of some snowflakes. Now, I want to see if I can make out if there's sleet. No, it just looks like snowflakes. Not a lot. As you can see, there's just not a lot here. So this is the bigger picture. And now I want to bring up radar scope. And here, this is where we're seeing little bits throughout the city going into Rockland and Orange. A little bit more in the Jersey, Pennsylvania kind of area. Let me switch this. Precipitation depiction. That's snow. All this blue is snow. Once you start getting into this, that's very light snow. The mix is orange. I don't see any orange here. Let's head a little bit more north. Let's go to Albany. Let's see. Oh, there's some stuff out there. Binghamton. Not a lot. Kind of what we were seeing back on the radar. Raymond, it looked like it was the I was just reading your newest comment, but to the last one you sent, it was the changeover. It wasn't necessarily a dry slot or anything. When I was watching it through the day, I didn't see any kind of a dry slot happening. What I did see was the temperature not changing or changing sooner than I thought. Also, it was the start time. When I was working on television over the weekend, the start time was, I believe it was showing about 2 a.m. on Tuesday. Midnight to 2 a.m., then it turned just to 2 a.m. on Tuesday. That's when the start time was. That's where more snow was going to happen. Then the changeover was supposed to happen after dawn. What actually happened, what the real life thing happened, was we had much later. It didn't. I don't think it started yesterday until about like 9 a.m. in my area, and then it started to snow, and it was snowing at a pretty good clip. Oh, it looks like I have a GeForce game driver available. We are not going to install that while the stream is happening. And I see the latency looks pretty good. I don't know if you can see latency on here, but it looks pretty decent from what I'm seeing the live stream on my iPad compared to the live stream happening right here. But anyway, it started later. And it did start as snow, which was originally forecasted, and it came down maybe an inch or two an hour at some times. It was nearing a whiteout condition where I was. And then it started lightening up, and that's when the transition happened. And most of the day, it was sleeting here. And that's probably where in Putnam County, that's where we got almost an inch of just sleet accumulation. So, timing was a little bit off from what the original forecast was. But the type, the transition from snow to sleet to freezing rain to rain, that actually happened. So that was pretty accurate. And Raymond, I see your second comment. Radar scope doesn't handle the mixing well. And for the most part, I would agree with that. The radar I use at the news station is with WSI. That handles the difference between sleet and... Because actually, if I go back to radar scope, if we look in here, it just shows mix. That's it, just mix. The one on television that I use can actually show the difference between not just mix, but sleet and freezing rain. So it has a couple extra contours in there. So it shows the rain contours, green and yellows. Then it shows the sleet contours, which I think are purple. The freezing rain contours, which are pink. And then the snow contours, which are white to blue. Which this is showing just blue right now. And let's take a peek over ice slip. There we have some rain. I don't know if I would call that rain. That's ground clutter kind of look to it. Let's go to Boston. Kind of that same thing. There's probably not much, if anything, out there. The shape of this looks a lot like what's called ground clutter. So that I'm not exactly sure if anything's happening there. But in Massachusetts, I would say, yeah, there's stuff, light stuff, very light stuff right there. Don't want to zoom out too far. So let's go back to Mount Holly. So there's some decent snow happening there. Traffic, yes, I know. The Boston one, is that what you meant, Raymond? Uh, that is probably not weather related, this little blob here, because you don't see heavy rain for a few pixels there next to heavy snow and then nothing. Could be traffic. It all depends on the radar beam. If your traffic's up on a hill and the radar beam's pointing straight at it, you may be seeing some cars. But Raymond, I think we can agree that this is not traffic. And let me put this into motion here. And that's starting to make its way in. It may actually, let me take this off. We got some reports. Snow and or grapple. There's our grapple. I didn't know this part. The MPING is a project of NOAA and the University of Oklahoma. Snow grapple. Yes, I knew the birds we've seen before. We've seen flocks of birds. Traffic is rarer, but it can because the traffic needs to be at a certain elevation. Most of the time, if you have flat traffic, more so out in the Midwest where all the flatlands are, the radar is probably not going to pick up traffic. In our area where it's more hilly, yeah, it's higher. There's a higher likelihood, but it's still a rare event to see. I'm just looking through. Ooh, we got some wind. Ooh, we got damage. 1 inch tree limbs broken. Shingles blown off. Oh, Lancaster. Oh, it crashed. Why did it crash? I've had this issue with radar scope on Windows. This radar scope on Windows is fairly new. I've been using radar scope on the iPhone and the Macs, and it's been perfect, but radar scope on the Windows computer seems to be giving me some issues the past week. But Lancaster here, tree limbs broken, 1 inch tree limb broken, shingles blown off. So yeah, there's some wind. That just shows wind. This is wind and looks like snow icon, blowing snow. So here, let me switch to this radar station. And we can see the darker blues, the higher dBZs of the snow. That may be some sort of a little gust front there. I wouldn't know if it's winter, but the reports are coming in of blowing snow. And just a little north of that, once you're not out in this, I guess we'll call it a gust front for now. We just have regular snow and or grapple. I think that's just a standard snow and or grapple. It doesn't just say snow for any of these. And what do we have up here? None. That's weird. The blank one should be none. That's something here. But it's showing none. Alright. Well, that's tasty. Hello, Tech Man. Thank you for joining. Yes, I am off today. Usually, Wednesdays I do work a morning shift. And that's why my weather podcast is usually about 7 o'clock in the evening. But for today, I was explaining this in the beginning. Tech Man, since I'm assuming you're into tech, the green screen setup I have, what I do is I have one iPhone that's front-facing camera facing me with the green screen. I have a second iPhone in my pocket that I have a lav mic connected to. And then my iPad is the video switcher that mixes all the signals. And I have a MacBook Pro, HDMI out into a video encoder that takes the HDMI signal, turns it into Ethernet, plugs into a router. The router then sends it wirelessly to the iPad so that can read all of the signals together. However, the MacBook Pro was having some graphics issues. Whenever there was something full screen video, it was showing this weird, like 2/3 of the screen would be the video and then just white boxes. So that's out for repair right now. That's still covered under warranty, so I don't have to worry about anything with that. It's just out, and I don't have a setup. I don't have a replacement laptop to do this green screen thing. So that's the case with that. So that's why, number one, I am doing the Games and Storms live stream today. Number two, yesterday I did the special video out in the snow, and I didn't want to do... I usually like to limit it to one video a day, just because the YouTube algorithm doesn't seem to pick up on more videos per day if you do like 3 videos a day. And it's a lot. So that's why I'm doing the Games and Storms stream today. And tomorrow, for Valentine's Day, Full Throttle Thursday as well, I'm going to be having a special car Valentine's Day, because who doesn't love their car? We have a love for cars, so we'll go into depth about the love for the cars. So that's going to be going out tomorrow, and Games and Storms today. Alright, so right now, we're just seeing some light snow happening around the area. And then on the satellite, this is what I wanted to show you before. This looks like a cutoff flow. It's just sitting there spinning. But it's really interesting to look at all this. This is shortwave IR. If I switch to visible, let's do... Ooh, that refreshed. Come on. Visible red. We could see snow, actually, in the Rockies there. Can't really see too much happening under the clouds. But we see the sunny skies. We see a little bit of white speck happening. Let's see if I can change the region. Raymond, there is going to be a bit more rain coming. It was another system, but we'll get to that once we get to the forecast models, which is just coming up in a couple minutes. And Techman, Pennsylvania. I think we were looking at that. Yeah, there's quite a bit of snow happening through here. Let me refresh this. Not a lot. I'm assuming it's not. Yeah, light snow in south central Pennsylvania. So yeah, that's kind of where this is right there. Was sunny 10 minutes ago, and yes, that's kind of what I wanted to see with this. Let's go localize. Can I go local? Ooh, there we go. So I'm around the New York City here, in the New York City area. Look at that, nice sunny skies, and all of a sudden the cloud cover. If we go, let's try and go here. For you in Pennsylvania, there was the sunny skies, and there come the clouds. Nice sunny skies and then clouds. Nice, beautiful sunny skies and then clouds. And let's go to Boston area. Still a lot of sunny skies, and some areas are still under mostly sunny conditions. Like I would say the South Fork of Long Island looks like it's still pretty good, but the clouds are going to be slowly coming in. So that's the, let's see, visible red. Let's see what visible blue looks like. Oh, that's interesting. The red shows a bit more of the terrain. The weather leftovers. I have not used that term before, but I do like it. This is the weather leftovers. Alright, so that's visible. I think before I had shortwave. So this, the darker color is the clouds. The lighter color is clear skies. Let me see. Long wave. There are thicker clouds coming in, and then we got some of those streamers. Water vapor. Let's look at low level water vapor. So yeah, those sunny skies were kind of with dry conditions, but we're seeing those clouds moving in, more moisture coming in. The other one I was told to use, where is it? Here we go. NT microphysics, nighttime microphysics. If you want to see visible clouds at night, NT microphysics. So this works regardless of daytime or nighttime. You'll see this is visible cloud cover. It's just a special microphysics calculation with the GOES 16 satellite. So you'd be able to see visible cloud cover at night, which is really cool. Alright, so now let's start taking a look at the good old Tropical Tidbits website. We're going to start with the GFS and change the region to northeast. And while that loaded, I'm going to grab a little more soup for lunch and I'll be right back. Alright, hello. The other thing I never thought of, so with the new glasses I got today, I don't know how the VR headset's going to fit over them. With the old glasses, they just barely fit around the edges of the glasses. So, we'll see how these fit. I haven't tried it yet. I basically just went to Costco, got my glasses, some groceries, came home and started the live stream with you guys. Oh, Luna. Just saw you join. Thank you. Put the leftovers in a container and put it in the fridge. Well, That's going to be the case for Valentine's Day tomorrow, where we're not having really any kind of precipitation. And let's take a look at the forecast models with this. And also, thank you for joining. So here, this is the GFS forecast model. And the GFS forecast model is showing little bits of some leftovers, but that's going to be making its way out. Also, if we look at these black lines here, these black lines are the isobars. As they get closer together, windy conditions because of what's called an increased pressure gradient. So we are going to be seeing that go through the rest of the day. Overnight tonight, still windy with those tight isobars. And maybe some lake effect snow once you get more northwest into New York State, near the Great Lakes there. I think these are kind of some streams of lake effect snow coming off. I don't expect any of that to actually make it down to the Hudson Valley, New Jersey, the New York City area, Connecticut, anything like that. And the wind starts to die down a little bit because these lines here, the pressure gradient decreases a little bit. And right down here, that's a high pressure. So we're going to have high pressure for tomorrow, which means some pretty nice conditions. The other thing, too, is it looks like we have, unfortunately, cold air advection. So when this blue line here, which is, I keep forgetting to look this up. I think it's called the isotac. And you have the isobar. Once they intersect like that, that means there is a change in temperature happening. When they're parallel, which is almost parallel here, then you're seeing very steady temperatures. So it looks like we are having cold air still in the forecast, and I hope they fix the MOS data. I'll show you the MOS data. If not, we'll just show some temperatures here. But let's continue. Our next system, this is going to be for Friday. So this 12Z time is about 7 a.m. Eastern time. And this is going to be rain. And it's going to be rain. Maybe once you get near the Capital District there, some snow. But for anywhere near New York City, rain. And then it's very quick. It's going to be out by, this is about 1 a.m. Saturday. This is 7 p.m. Friday. In northern Vermont. Tech Man, just looking at your comment there. You're going skiing. Ah, that's fun. Let's see what it looks like on Friday. I don't know if it's going to be all snow, unfortunately. But this is one forecast model. We'll look at a couple others. And then the second hour of the stream, we'll be doing a little bit of some gaming. But it's still not going to be a lot, and it's going to be pretty quick there. By the evening, yeah, there should be some snow going into to Vermont into there. But during the middle of the day, there could be that little changeover. And then going into Saturday, this next system here looks like it stays out of our area. Maybe if you happen to be in Delmarva area, Cape May County there, maybe you'll get a little glancing blow of that, but nothing really too much. For Saturday, for the most part in the tri-state area, don't look too bad. Sunday, for your first part of your day at least, pretty dry. Not terribly cold, because that 540 line we kind of assume is the temperature, the freezing point line. So we're going to be maybe a little bit below freezing there. So it's not terribly cold, it's just uncomfortably cold, I guess you would say. And their next system coming in here will bring in some warmer air. And this is going to be the challenge going overnight, Sunday into Monday. This is about 1 a.m. on Monday. Snow turning to rain as the system approaches. And it looks like that freezing line kind of stays right where it is. This is again in the perfect example of where this 540 decameter thickness line does not exactly equal the freezing line. because you have layers of the atmosphere. And essentially what that means is the 500 millibar pressure level, it fluctuates throughout the atmosphere with different heights. So these lines that are showing, say, 540, 534, those are how high the 500 millibar level is. The closer it is, the shorter the thickness, the colder it is. The bigger the thickness, the warmer it is. That's how the gas works in the atmosphere. Warmer temperatures expand the gas, colder temperatures contract the gas. So that's what that means with the 540 thickness line. It's not necessarily the freezing line, and that's kind of what we're seeing here. The freezing line's kind of following that 534 line, so it's not exactly around there. That's for Monday morning. It starts to just taper off, but then again, these isobars pretty close together, higher pressure gradient, and that's going to be windy for most of the day on Monday. Going into Tuesday, high pressure moves in. The pressure gradient starts to decrease. So as we're going through Tuesday, it starts to become a little bit better. Next Tuesday, today's not Tuesday. Usually this is Tuesday. But today's Wednesday, pre-Valentine's Day. Tuesday night, next Tuesday night, we are seeing pretty calm conditions, but cold with these thickness lines starting to get even lower. And then we're going to end it at a week from today. Maybe another little system there, with maybe some more snow, some freezing. So this is what I've typically seen with the winters the past, say, 5 years. First half of the winter, once you get into December and January, pretty quiet. Then later in January, going into February and March, it starts to get active. Even though this is not a lot, it's still every, say, 5 days or so, another system moving through. And if anybody wants to join me for lunch, I am having lunch. It is that time of the day. Alright, so that was the GFS. I'm going to leave that up, and I'm going to bring up now the icon model, which is the Germans. We'll let that load, and this is set because of the time of the day. It's set to the 12Z model run, which goes out to 180 hours. Let's rewind that and take a look. So it's still showing this high pressure gradient. High pressure itself in for tomorrow, for Valentine's Day. So if you have any plans for Valentine's Day, it's actually not going to be a bad day. It's just going to be a little bit cold, but that's really about it. Going into Friday. Again, TechMan for Vermont. It may not be all snow, unfortunately. It looks like a mix of some rain and snow. But this icon model, it's different already than the GFS because it's just less intense once you get to the tri-state area. And then that's pretty much out before the day ends on Friday. So this is 10 p.m. Even though that says Saturday, 3Z Saturday is actually 10 p.m. Friday. So Friday night's pretty much out, besides some little bit of lake effect snow there. Maybe some leftovers. And then going into Saturday, that system, it stays pretty consistent there with the icon and the GFS, where we are seeing the system stay south, maybe just barely scraping that Delmarva area. High pressure comes in for Sunday. And this is also going to be the next tricky system coming in for Monday morning. This is showing some pretty intense snow by about 7 a.m. Monday. starts as light snow. It's going to be very close, just barely south of New York City. That's where the changeover to rain happens. Heavy snow there, 7 a.m. 10 a.m., the changeover is pretty much happening throughout the Hudson Valley and the tri-state New York City area. Once you get a bit more northeast, so Massachusetts and Connecticut, Vermont, that's all still staying as snow. And then the high pressure gradient increases later in the day with these tight isobars. We're also seeing some cold air advection with almost perpendicular 90-degree angle between that pressure or the thickness line and the pressure lines. That's as far as you can get with the advection, is that 90-degree angle. And then going into Tuesday, it looks drier. That high moves in. Through the first part of the day, it stays windy, but as the high starts to move directly overhead late Tuesday, going into Wednesday, that pressure gradient decreases. Starts getting less windy, but then going into next Wednesday, a week from today, again, another little system there. So that was the icon, and this is the GFS. 18Z Wednesday, 18Z Wednesday. So if we just compare the two of these, they are different, but again, this is a week out, and this is where the forecast models, the consistency starts to fall apart between them. So that's the challenge there. All right. The last one we're going to look at is the NAM. Oops, I want to open up a new tab. Nope, not new window. Did it open a new window? It did not. I want a new tab. There we go. Okay. The NAM does not go out as far. The NAM only goes out about 84 hours. So let's rewind this and take a look again. We can see the kinkiness in the isobars. If you follow the kink in there, that's where you can track where the front is. And the NAM is a higher resolution forecast model compared to the last couple, so you're able to see those kinks. And you're able to make out where the front is based on surface analysis. This is showing not as heavy leftovers, but still showing very windy. And just from sitting here, looking out my window, I am seeing very windy conditions. Complete cloudiness, but very windy. And some snowflakes here and there, too. So Thursday, this is where any of those leftovers from today going into early tomorrow, especially once you get near the Great Lakes, again, that could be some lake effect snow, but nothing too much once you're there. And then by Thursday evening, if you have any Valentine's Day plans, it looks pretty good. Maybe a little breezy, just a little cold, but dry, so you don't have anything to worry about with that. And then going into Friday, let's see, this is barely anything for Friday, but TechMan for skiing on Friday. The NAM is showing warmer. Maybe a little blip of snow there, but it's not constant snow, so it may not be the best feeling conditions when you're going skiing. And then going into Saturday, this shape is very different. If we looked at the other two on that Saturday, so like this is the GFS, and we'll go back to Saturday. So right here, that little blob, that low pressure system, so that's 0Z Sunday. Let me go to 0Z Sunday on here. There's 0Z Sunday. So they're kind of in the same area. And 0Z Sunday here, very different on the NAM compared to the icon in the GFS. So overall, for the week ahead, it looks like Thursday for Valentine's Day, if you're near the Great Lakes or the Finger Lakes regions in New York, then you may be getting some lake effect snow. That's really about it. I don't expect anything too much out of that. For the tri-state region and east. Pretty dry conditions. However, it's going to be a little cold, a little windy. Now, I want to see, just for the temperatures, One Stop Moss. I don't know if this site actually works. I use this site with the moss data for forecasting, and it was just down. So we're going to use Islip. We're going to use White Plains. And we have New York City. And then we're going to go to New Jersey. Let's see. Newark. There's Newark. And let's see if it actually works. Yay, it works. Okay, that's a good thing. So, temperatures here, we're just going to look at the week ahead temperatures. So, Thursday in the low 40s, mid 40s, upper 30s. By Saturday, upper 30s, upper 30s. So, once we get past, say, when was the 40s? It's Friday. Once we get past Friday, oh wow, that's snowing at a pretty good pace right now. So, I got some pretty good snow. Not small flakes. I'd say medium-sized flakes. They look fluffy, too. So the fluffy flakes means it's very cold in the upper levels of the atmosphere. Once you get the wet, thick flakes, that means it's a little bit warmer, nearing the freezing point. All right. So cold there. Let's take a look at some of these others. We have the 40s, 30s, and then 30s for the rest of that week. So cold temperatures for the week ahead. Kind of what we would expect for January. And next, we are going to go into gaming. Alright, let's close out of this. And we have our Destiny 2 we're going to be playing now. I feel like I haven't played this game on live stream in a while for you guys. If the background audio is too loud and you can't really hear me, just let me know, and I will adjust the desktop audio. So how's everybody's day going? Wasn't sure who would show up for the lunch special for the Games and Storms live stream. Now, with Destiny 2, I haven't bought the newest expansion pass, which is the Forsaken. I'm still on, was the Warmind, I think is the last one I'm on. I didn't buy the next one. Because originally I got Destiny 2 for free, which was cool. And then I bought a very discounted price the combo pack for Warmind and what was the other one? There's one on Mercury, on the planet Mercury. I forgot what that first one was. But Expansion 1, Expansion 2, and then Forsaken is Expansion 3. Alright. Let's begin. Oh, right, this is, because of Valentine's Day, this is actually a, Crimson Week, I think they're calling it. Crimson Red. The other thing I've noticed, too, when I'm streaming, so the gaming computer, I got it very stable now, so I shouldn't have any problems, but what I'm doing, I'm streaming to the to YouTube. I'm recording locally to the hard drive, so I have a full resolution copy of the game stream in the computer, and playing video game. When that's happening, it looks like the FPS drops from a little bit over 60 FPS, a very smooth game, to maybe a little over 30 frames per second, it looks like right now. It's still playable. It's just not the most pristine in terms of video gaming, but the computer's doing a lot right now. And when it's recording locally to the hard drive, it's actually 2 hard drives I have in a RAID 0 array. And it's recording to those while streaming and playing the game itself. And also my network is very taxed right now because I'm doing... Destiny 2 is essentially an all-online game. So that's happening while the gaming computer is streaming out to YouTube. And I'm monitoring everything from my iPad, so I'm watching the game stream with that. I wonder if that's why this is taking a while. Usually it's not this long, so let me just pause. If I pause my live view of the monitoring of the stream, I can still see your comments. So if you put a comment in the chat, I'll see it still. There we go. That might have been why. So I paused the video, so I'm able to see. So if anything goes wrong, definitely let me know. Yeah, this is definitely 30 FPS. Or 24. But there's some roses, or whatever they call... this is Earth, so these are roses.
There is hope for humanity yet. God.
Yes, there is hope for humanity yet. Although it may not seem like it. Where was it? Oh, I'm going this way.
Let's get you back out there.
Alright, let's see if I get anything here. Nope. Almost there.
Keep the wall strong.
Did you show the darkness what light can do?
Ooh, let's do some...
Hopefully, this is as sturdy as you are.
Public events. Let's go to some public events.
All battles are just a lesson, Guardian.
Public event starts soon there. Event active. Can I get there in time is the question. It all depends on the internet health. I'm trying to spear some of these. Well, I'm on fire. Oh, it looks like that public event ended. What was this saying here? Track something. Let's see if I can join. Nope. Guess it's over. Oh. What is this?
A Glimmer mining group. Shut them down. Pile of Glimmer. Hold them off while I transmat this. giant heap of glimmer incoming.
My word. You'll have to keep some for yourself, you know.
Alright. So that should be one public event. Maybe completed. In a fire team of 2. Oh, I didn't read that part. I don't have a fire team of 2. Oh, gotta get the loot chest. Oh, it's snowing pretty heavy here now. I don't know, should I sacrifice this? Speeder. Okay. Alright, I think I'm done here. Oh, what? It came up again, the taken anomaly. Let's see. Well, let's go over there. Oh, there's one about to start here. Although I don't have a fire team of 2. Doesn't matter. I'm just trying to gain some experience points for some gear I have.
This is like a cornerstone for Nessus, put here by the Vex to mark linear time. It's been 127 of our years since Nessus last traveled through our system. I don't know how many Vex years that is.
Crew members, Cabal are approaching for resource acquisition.
Oh, so you think you're gonna come in here and dig, do you?
What will stop them, I wonder? vessels carrying unknown technology. Location unknown.
He zapped that ship. Huh. They'd rather blow up equipment than let us take it. These Cabal don't have a lot of faith in us, do they?
I have no idea why that might be. Ghost. I have been wondering recently what became of two members of the Exodus Black crew. They left on their own a long time ago. Never came back.
Sure, failsafe. Where do we start?
The local Vex will have the data I need to begin the search.
I don't think this is the way. Nope. No, these guys have this piece I need. Alright, how do I get out of here? Ooh, it's getting really windy. There it is.
All the foliage around this access point is somehow augmenting its firewall. I thought the trees were mostly organic, but just add this to the pile of things we don't understand about the Vex.
Where is the data chip? Where are you, data chip? it just from the Vex here? I don't understand what I have to do. Well, that's something here.
This complex is specifically attuned to exo programming. But why would the Vex have access to... Oh, it must be Cade.
I don't know what this is. Collect the Vex data chip. Well, there's the public event. Oh, that got both at once. That was cool. That's the one I actually want to upgrade. Yes, it's powerful now, but imagine after an upgrade how powerful it will be. Alright, let's try and find where this data chip is. Nope, these guys are too high. I don't know what this data chip is it wants me to collect. Hey, I got it.
Two humans passing through this region ages ago. Beings from Earth were a rare occurrence back then. I've located a conflux with more information.
Failsafe, you're not expecting your crewmates to still be alive, are you?
No, they are very dead. But I want to know what happened.
The missing crew, what were they like?
One was a scientist and philosopher. The other, an engineer.
They're out there. We'll find them.
Assuming this is the conflux.
broadcasting you and have created a holographic placard for our convenience. Presumably, my missing crew were forced to partake in a similar experiment. Demands we reach 3 data modules.
This test was meant for humans?
The contents have been calibrated to challenge a Guardian, though they don't refer to you by that title.
What do they call us?
Those who wield that which we cannot simulate.
Huh. Catchy. Your missing crew. How did they get separated?
They disagreed with Captain Jacobson's decisions and they departed. My conflict resolution software was unable to amend the situation, so I gave them what provisions I could, more than the requisite amount. I knew they would be more vulnerable in the wild, but I could not change their fate.
And we're going in here. We're back in here. Oh, I don't want to shoulder punch somebody. There was another Hydra, I guess not.
Still no sign of your crew, Failsafe. We'll keep looking.
I appreciate your efforts, Captain. Friendly Ghost.
Alright.
I'm reading a very faint distress signal. It's ancient. Failsafe.
The bodies are outside my sensor range, but I can detect them through your scan. Yes, friendly ghost. The memory of what happened to them will live forever in me. And so, in a way, they will never die.
Okay, so this gate is too small for a Hydra to fit through. But according to this, dozens of Hydras passed through before it broke down. So either the gate got smaller at some point, or there are hundreds of tiny Hydras out there somewhere.
Okay. Let me close out of that. And transition back. Alright. Well, that pretty much concludes this live stream. I hope you guys enjoyed. A little bit of a different time. Tomorrow I'm going to have the special Full Throttle Thursday, Cars in Valentine's Day. So check back for that. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button below and then the little bell icon right next to that so you get notified whenever I upload a video or I do go live like this. Alright, so this is meteorologist Andrew Pinero. I will see you all in the next video. Let me now close the stream.